Welcome back to the channel again, guys. So today, as you can tell from the title of this video, we're going to be fitting both the new charge pipe as well as the blow valve. So before we get into the actual fitting, let's just look what we have in the boxes. So I'm just going to flip this around real quick. Alright, so here we have our new aluminium charge pipe, and basically the reason why I'm switching this out is because for some weird reason BMW decided to fit plastic charge pipes on the n54s, and they are known to tear, especially when you turn up the boost. On stock boost they tend to survive, but once you go with more booster, they start to give problems. So this specific kind of charge pipe actually has attachments here for both the blow valve or for the stock diverter valves. So how this works is, if you're going to use your diverter valves, obviously you'll just pop them into these little ports over here, but then you'll have to block this off. And alternatively, if you have a blower valve, you'll pop the blower valve over here, and then you'll have to block these off with some kind of plug, which I'm going to show you the ones that I got. Then over here is basically just a little port for should you decide to run either NOS, or if you're going meth, you can drop your your what you call this thing, the sprayer, into there. And yeah, over here, this is for your map sensor. So yeah, that is basically the charge pipe. Let's have a look at what we have with the blower valve. Let me just get the box quickly. Okay, so over here we've got ourselves a Tial blower valve. It's really good quality. I went with red because, as you guys know, the theme with the car is basically black, white and red. The red is quite minimal, but inside of my engine bay there's no red, which is why I went with this, to just sort of bring that color into the engine bay. And then what's also included over here, they also give an extra spring. And then these are just some fittings. This is in case, so for example, our blow valve should just fit straight onto here, onto our charge pipe. Should. If not, we're going to have to make a plan over here, but we'll figure it out. Otherwise, this should just fit into here and then onto there. And then they give you your little V-band clamp so that you can clamp this down. And yeah, let me just check. Oh, I forgot to show you in the box over here. They also give you these little elbows so that you can actually connect your charge pipe without any problems. And they give you all of the necessary clamps as well. So yeah, and then the plugs that I was talking about for these, let me just show you what I've got. So there's companies online that actually sell plugs that are specifically made for these, but for these over here, but they actually sell for like over 1,000 rand, which I think is ridiculous. I got these from the hardware and they cost me like 20 rand for the set. Let me just see if the price is on here. Okay, there's no price on here, but it was really cheap to get these. And I got these because currently I actually have one of these on my on the 135, because basically what I've done was I actually removed the stock diverter valves, and so I blocked them off. The port on the intake, I blocked it off so that the car could actually give a bit of a dump, even though there's no blower valve at the moment. So I know that those work in that regard, but it's yet to be seen whether this is going to hold on the charge pipe, because obviously air is going to be flowing through here. But what we're going to do is we're going to use the clamps that we would have used to put the stock diverter valves on there. We're going to use those clamps to tie this down, and hopefully that should be able to hold the pressure. So yeah, let me just explain to you inside of the engine bay what needs to be done. Alright, so our stock charge pipe sits all the way down here. As you can see, it flows down there. As you can see, my current diverter valve is actually open over there, so that's why I'm saying it gives me the dump sound even though I don't have a dump valve. And then obviously we've blocked it off on this side with the same kind of plug like I just showed you that we got at the hardware. So we're going to use some of those to block off the ports with the diverter valve on the aftermarket charge pipe. So in order to get to that charge pipe, actually get it off, we're going to need to remove a couple of things. So firstly, we need to get this cover off over here. So these two covers on the corners, they just clip out. Once those clip out, then there's some bolts underneath here. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So those clip out, there's some bolts over here to get those out. Yeah, and we'll also have to remove this harness. I need something to hold this bonnet up, because shocks seem to be going out. I need to remove this harness, obviously, remove all of that. Once that's off, we are going to remove the stock airbox over here, because obviously it's in the way. Once the airbox is out, I also want to take out this little snorkel that runs across here, just to give us some more space to work with. And then once that's done, it's basically just the clamps over there, and we'll see if it's attached anywhere else. And then yeah, we get to pop in the new pipe. Alright, so as you can see, where my stock diverter pipes have been on either side, they've already been plugged off, so that's not a problem for me. For you guys, if you still have your stock diverter valves on there, all you're going to have to do is obviously just detach them from here. They normally twist off and then pull out, and then you'd obviously have to plug them off like we've done. And then, like I said, we're going to use these same kinds of plugs on our actual new charge pipe. Alright, so now that we've got those covers off and the cabin filter out, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this stock airbox. It's very simple. There's just some clips, and once those clips are removed, we're going to get this hose out of the way. So I don't have an actual unclipping tool, so I'm just going to use a flat screwdriver to pop underneath these and then let them pop off. Alright, so obviously we've got two inlets, and obviously the stock airbox is connected to these inlets, so we're going to just connect them. Disconnect the inlets from here, and then we'll be able to take this box out. So yeah, let's get to that. Alright, so now we basically have access to our charge pipe. So obviously we've got a little clamp over here, a C-clamp that's going to come off, and then on this side is just a little clamp that we need to screw off, and this will pop out over here. Okay, so just before you pull the pipe out, you also want to take this vacuum line off of the intake right here. So it might be a bit brittle, but you're just going to want to twist that off. So that's out. With the pipe disconnected now, we should just be able to slide this. Alright, so now that we've got the stock charge pipe off, there's two things that we're going to need from here. The first thing is the O-ring that sits inside of there. We're going to need to take that out and put it onto the new pipe. And the second thing that we're going to need is we're going to reuse this clip as well. And then, yeah, let's get to it. Besides the C-clip and the O-ring, we're also going to use the original map sensor. So we're just going to screw that out. Okay, so I'm just busy assembling the pipe now with everything that we need. These are those plugs that I showed you guys, and they sit really snug on here. They're super tight. I don't even know if we're going to need the clips, but maybe I should just put them on there for safety. Next, I'm also going to add pop in this O-ring. So this is the O-ring from the original pipe. I'm just going to pop this inside of here. See if I can do this while holding the camera as well. Snap. Okay, So we've got our little O-ring inside of our groove. Next off, so this little prop here, obviously we're not going to use it, so this isn't coming out. But normally these are a bit loose, and it's actually a kind of hex key. So just to make sure, I'm going to tighten this up so that we don't have any sort of vacuum leak. Okay, it's actually pretty tight, so I'm not too stressed about that. Okay, so next up I'm just going to assemble the blower valve. So I'm going to connect this piece over here. It's just like a little tin bolt at the top that pops in like that. And yeah, I think we can just tighten this quickly. Once you've put this on, and if you're not happy with the orientation or you need to turn it, you just sort of need to loosen this bolt and then twist this to whichever direction you need it and then tighten it up again. So next off, I'm obviously going to put this onto the pipe. In order to do that, obviously we're going to put the little O-ring that comes along with it. I've got that over here. So the O-ring is just going to sit inside of here. I'll figure that out in a moment. And then obviously the clamp will sit between the actual blower valve and the pipe itself. Okay, so we've got the blower valve on there now, and this thing is nice and tight. It's not going to go anywhere. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get that elbow ready. So I'm just going to put the clamps on here. What I'm going to do is the elbow I'm not going to put onto the pipe first. I'm first going to put this into the section on the car where it needs to be, and then I'm just going to pop this into here, so that I think it's just going to be easier for maneuvering, etc, etc. Okay, so I've got the pipe down there, and I found it's obviously simpler in terms of space and hand movement to actually put the pipe in on its own, and then I can just slide the clips over here, the bottom one right through, and then just tighten, and then the top one can just hang over here, so that when we put the new charge pipe in, we can just tighten it in from the side. So everybody, it's actually the next day now, and the reason for that is I realized that I didn't have the T20 torx needed to remove that map sensor from the standard charge pipe. So I went out this morning to go and get that charge pipe, and then since I was out to get the charge pipe, I decided to actually just pick up the thicker vacuum hose to lead from the blower valve to the intake. So yeah, the pipe that I've got over here, this is a 5mm pipe. Now normally guys would recommend that you get 1/4 inch pipe. So 1/4 inch pipe is basically just over 6mm, slightly more than 6mm. The reason why I didn't go with 6mm is just so that it can have a more snug fit, so it can sit a bit tighter, and also so that it's not too loose on the little nipple on the intake, because obviously that intake was made to hold the standard size, which is a 1/8 or a 3mm basically yeah, hose. So yeah, let's get back to where we were. So as you can see, with the proper T20 torx, it came right out, and now we're going to reuse this on our new pipe. And obviously they've given us their own hardware, and luckily these use normal screws, if I'm not mistaken. Well, they also torx. Yeah, no, these are just normal screws. So yeah, let's fit this onto there. Okay, so at this point we've got everything we need. Our blower valve is on there. We've got that C-clip. We put in the old O-ring over there. Map sensor is ready. We tightened up this little screw over here, and obviously we plugged off those little ports. So the next thing is just to actually fit this in, and then yeah, to reassemble. Okay, so as you can see, our new pipe is in here, sitting nice and snug. There's our new line going to our intake over there, and then yeah, basically I'm going to reassemble, and just like that. So yeah, everything's in. Unfortunately, because of the stupid ass position of this of the port for the blower valve, I've sort of had to shift this over. I'm gonna have to take this out and mount it over there so that I can mount this a little more that way, and I don't think there should be any issues with closing with it. Move the side, and yeah, everything else is back together. Unfortunately, I dropped my 8 socket somewhere in this region, which really sucks, but okay, it is what it is. So yeah, the hardest part I think about this was getting this knuckle to fit. over here the proper way and tightening it up. And then also just the position of this blow valve is really tight. I don't actually like it. I think it might make sense to just put a little kink in here so that this can sit a bit better. But okay, our blow valve is on. Yeah, let's see if it starts up.